This is the only aspect of any given movie that I will spoil up front because we all want it. The Dog Lives. The director has a pretty decent record going as far as I know. Never Let Go stars Halle Berry as the mother of two young boys, the three of whom are trying to survive at their cabin out in the wilderness while living in the presence of an evil spirit that has seemingly destroyed the rest of the world. As the mother is the only one who can see this apparition, one of the sons at a point begins questioning if the evil is truly real. This movie is directed by Alexandre Aja, who did one movie that I will probably never see, and that is Piranha 3D. As I understand it, that entire movie is just gore and porn ground together, so I don't care to give that a shot. Though I did see Crawl, which was a pretty solid creature feature despite the absurdly abrupt ending. I haven't yet seen either version of The Hills Have Eyes, though I think I might this Halloween. So looking over Aja's filmography, even though I've only seen one other film of his, I don't think it's too presumptuous to say that Never Let Go is his best work. From the plot summary, you might be able to put together what kind of allegory this film is. There may be various ways of looking at it, but much like A Quiet Place, this is about parents trying to protect their children from the darkness that has consumed the world, and raising them to know just how to deal with it. And the movie does so with something of a religious angle. Though while A Quiet Place was more subtle in its religious subtext, in the case of Never Let Go, while it's never on the nose, it is pretty unmistakable. You see, this evil spirit can take any form and say anything to try and make the mother doubt what she knows, or else to just torment her. And to the mother and her sons, fraternal twins Samuel and Nolan, the cabin is their sacred ground. The spirit can't get in. Whenever they go out hunting for grub, which consists of both figurative grub and actual grub, they each need to have a rope tied around their waist which tethers them to the cabin. Before departing, they exchange the words, "Never let go," and they are always careful not to begin the phrase with the contraction "I'll," because then James Cameron would be lawyering up. So the rope is their lifeline, because if they're untethered and the evil so much as lays a finger on them, it will possess them, enter the house, and completely corrupt it. At least, this is all what the boy's mother says is the truth. One of the boys begins doubting the reality that he and his brother have been raised in, which calls into question their mother's sanity. Such elements like questioning reality or someone potentially being crazy may not be uncommon for a horror movie, but what really took me by surprise were the results. I caught on to the spiritual parallels quickly, but I wasn't sure I was going to like it based on where I thought it was all headed. And then, the movie takes an unexpected turn at roughly the halfway mark. It only gets more engaging from there, and by the time it reached its conclusion, it had taken the spiritual themes in a direction that I did not see coming. Again, there are probably numerous ways that you can interpret it based on your own point of view, but regardless, I was quite impressed by how it hit me. And through all of this, it's a good tension-packed experience because we don't know for certain what's happening, and due to a few surprisingly good jump scares. One in particular at the beginning of the movie that I think had the entire audience yelping. And there's a little additional suspense to the scenario in the fact that one of the boys is a sleepwalker. Hey, as long as it's a weakness in a horror movie that isn't freaking asthma again, I'll take it. The sound is great too. Sound is always an important factor in creating an immersive experience, but I think it does a particularly great service to movies that take place in the woods. The two prime examples in my mind are The Revenant and last year's The Marsh King's Daughter, which was a so-so film overall, but both those movies had sound mixing so superb, it makes you feel like you're really out in the thick of the wilderness. In that area, Never Let Go is just one notch below those two. Halle Berry is very good as the mother. This is probably her best performance in years. And the two young actors who play her sons, by the names of Anthony B. Jenkins and Percy Daggs IV, they too play their parts very well. Now, I didn't like everything. There are some rough edges. The movie could have started much stronger. Instead of allowing us to gradually learn what's happening through visuals and natural dialogue, we're just given an exposition dump by means of narration from one of the boys. It does do a disservice to the experience. If that had been how A Quiet Place started, would we have been as instantly hooked as we were? The movie also does what is, for some reason, a recent trend, where a single movie will be divided into multiple chapters. Like it opens with the text, Roman numeral 1, something, something, something. A third of the way in, Roman numeral 2, how will I feed the kids? Something like that. Why does this feel like the go-to attempt at being artsy nowadays? The creator did it, and I want to say that some other movie from earlier this year did it too. Was it Longlegs? I want to say it was Longlegs. And if it was, then I guess the awesomeness of that movie just blocked out the memory of that one little cliche. Never Let Go also has one or two instances of questionable character decisions that have you thinking, why don't you just do this? There's a scene where the boys are in a certain dilemma that has a very simple solution, and it did kind of bug me that neither one of them thought of it. Still, I may go see it again. I'm going to have to do a spoiler talk video after it has a weekend in theaters, because I gotta talk more about what I got out of this movie's spiritual themes. There is a certain word that comes to my mind to sum up these themes, but I feel like just saying it could ruin the whole mystery of what's going on. So for right now, I'll just tell you that this movie is for sure worth checking out. Despite some vexing flaws, it stands out among the survival genre as unpredictable, well-acted, moderately scary, and even surprisingly deep when all is said and done. And I look forward to seeing what other people have to say about it. Scoring on the Factor Facts, I'm going to give Never Let Go a 74%. That's a wrap. Thank you for watching. I hope you found this review helpful, and I hope you'll stick around for my spoiler talk video. Like and share, subscribe for more. This is Pop Culture. I'm Alex Pop.